So, folks, one of the more exciting things that I've been doing is actually working with kind of small creators, small businesses, and reviewing their AI tools for kind of the different features that they do, the different problems they're looking to solve, and especially in the context of how it relates to customer success. And I personally think that customer success is such a good playground for this stuff because it's incredibly complicated, it's really fast paced, and you have that balance of being highly technical and very demanding, being very like product development piece, and then also being customer facing. So you hit kind of all the different pieces where AI could potentially step in, but also it's just a really complex, again, fast paced area where there's a lot of potential for these tools to really, really help. And so what we're looking at right here is Clarity Inbox. You got that in the top there. And what it is an AI email tool. And I'm just going to read the quick demo that I've got from the creator, Gary, who I've been working with here, who's one of the leaders on the team right now. And we've been having conversations about this for quite a while. So I've gotten to see this evolve over time. And I only just really got the green light to actually talk about it, which I'm really excited about. So I'll read the summary he's got. So Clarity Inbox is built for SMB, so your small to medium business owners, to automate routine tasks, starting with the email inbox. He says 30 million SMBs are drowning in back office work, and tools like Zapier and HubSpot are too complex to set up. Which, yeah, for a lot of small operators, or like your freelancers out there who get a lot of emails with a lot of different subjects, it can be incredibly overwhelming, and you could spend most of your day just clearing out your inbox. So number one here, when a user connects with Clarity, it learns from your past emails, how you organize, and who you communicate with. Number two, Clarity files incoming emails with who and what. With what, Clarity will label emails so users can quickly decide, and get those right here. There we go. Can quickly decide whether they need to act on them or not, which is awesome. Gives you this like automatic prioritization. And as you train the system how to respond to different types of emails that come in, this gets better and better. More functional, more possible labels. It gets more accurate about what it labels as what and how it behaves. So also there are some rules there. We'll get to that. And then you can fine tune those rules in the dashboard, which is right here. And then my rule and power up with auto star, auto draft, auto archive, etc. So if you get a ton of newsletters or ads, you have the automatic filters inside your inbox that will mark things as spam, but a lot of the time those will miss things. So rather than choosing the unsubscribe, you can have it automatically archive or just delete these if you're having trouble getting rid of stuff. And where this is a little bit better than some of the existing email filters, a lot of the time you can filter out by a specific email address, by a specific sender, and block or report that specific address, but it's not going to catch it if it's something more complicated, where like if somebody's changing the sender address or it's multiple senders from the same company. This gives you the option to say like anything with these keywords, anything with this company name, you can drop it in a specific way and behave to it. And that has been very handy for me testing this out. Let's see. Number four, you can automate workflows by creating an AI rule using plain English. And that part's really cool that we're going to talk about in just a second here. But then let's see. So this is the dashboard, and then I do have a walkthrough video I'm going to show in just a second. And let's see. And here's just a little bit more specifically about how this applies to customer success. So Clarity Inbox helps quickly spot fires for CS teams from customer complaints, billing issues, SLA requirements, etc. Clarity Auto drafts responses tailored to each client, and CC and BCC teams on recurring issues. So CS teams have more time with clients and building relationships. And that part jumps out at me right away because one of the common pieces of my workflow in the past is having a BCC email address that I could put on messages to have an email go straight to Salesforce or HubSpot or your CRM to automatically log in there. And that's really helpful. Could be Notion, I think, also has the option for that too. CS owners can create AI rules by using plain English, and we'll look at that in a minute. Auto label messages from invoice questions, priority requests, and upgrade downgrade signals. Auto draft personalized responses and FAQs from incoming customer messages. Auto CC and BCC relative team members on critical issues for visibility. Help prioritize urgent issues, boost productivity, and spend more time on nurturing high value engagements. And long story short, the big focus of this is to save time and make a lot of kind of the day-to-day noise that can take up your day, just make it a little bit cleaner and a little bit kind of pre-organized. And this is something I gained a lot of time out of doing this in my last few workplaces. especially in Outlook, by doing this by hand. And you can set up rules that way, but setting up rules in Outlook and similar tools is really laborious, and you have to like manually move messages into them. So being able to automate that saves a little bit of time each time, but then throughout your week, throughout your month, throughout your year, every little bit of time you save on tasks like that does add up. So this is a tool in your quiver. And one of the really cool things about this is it's a pretty basic, straightforward version of this kind of tool. And it comes in at an aggressive price point. So it's a really, really good. And I've really enjoyed testing this out for just how efficient and lean it can be and how responsive Gary and the team have been on updating and changing things. It's been cool. So let's see here. And so here's our demo. And we're going to go ahead and watch this real quick. And I have not watched this yet. So we'll see what Gary has to say for us here.
How Clarity automates a lot of the back end routine tasks for small businesses. Clarity connects to your inbox and it'll read through your past emails and create an AI profile summary of me and how I communicate. This is what Pete Kuhlman calls the system prompt. So when Clarity auto drafts and write in on your behalf, it will use this prompt to communicate in your tone of voice. You can also edit that writing style as well. Clarity will also understands the relationship with the people that you communicate with recently, whether it's a customer, a prospect, or a business partner. Clarity will learn how you communicate with them and the tone of voice that you use with each individual. Let's take a look at my inbox here. Email comes in. Clarity will know exactly who and what in terms of what. Clarity understand, hey, emails that you already took an action on.
Just to pause this real quick, you can also see that those filters are color coded. So this is a feature that appealed to me personally. I apparently like a colorful inbox. But as these messages come in, as they're tagged, those tags have a color. So at a glance, you can see to respond, to respond, to respond. You can see your top red category messages. You can see your awaiting replies, another category. And then your FYIs and your action, you can kind of pull those out of your eyes and really very quickly focus on the inbox just from a purely visual perspective when you first look at it. And that is one of actually the most appealing pieces to me. Um, yeah,
Emails that are awaiting reply, you need to follow up on. Emails that are marketing, that are newsletter or product updates that you want to file away and declutter from your inbox. A lot of Clarity users go to the to respond label. This is where Clarity file away the most important emails that you need to take action on and also creates a draft on your behalf. So let's take a look at those AI rules. So Clarity will read through this prompt, and that's how it labels emails as marketing. You can also um, mark it as done, which archives those emails. And there's also power ups, whether it's mark as read, move to trash, or remind you to follow up. You can tell a Clarity to remind you and have those workflow adapt to you. Let's create a rule. Clarity uses natural language processing, and small business owners can write in plain English what they want to automate.
I wanted to save this really quick here because this is such a cool moment. So again, this is one of the really strong advantages of these AI tools over the traditional email inbox tools. Being able to write your request in plain English, both the action, exactly the message you want composed back, what it should look for to apply this action. Like there are obvious, you better get this right because there are things where you can trigger this and have it misfire. But being able to have this level of complex rule automatically applied as messages that meet these criteria come in is huge. This is huge. And this is, again, the sort of thing you see from really big, expensive, advanced automation tools that an individual could very quickly and easily put together and make their ideal workflow with a certain level of automation here.
So in this case, email comes in that are low search volume. Let's label it as self-qualified leads and then draft a response. So Clarity will read that and then create those rules. So create email comes in, self-qualified leads, draft a response. And let's go into my inbox. Email comes in. It's monthly search volume, not qualify, drafts a response. So now I can review it and then send it away. This is how Clarity automate a lot of those back office tasks and give you back control.
And that again was just a really quick demo of kind of some of the key features. We're going to go through a little bit more slowly here and just talk about it. So again, here's your homepage. Shows your action steps. There's a built-in onboarding process that was really cool, and you can always touch on that as well. Um, Let's see. Yeah, there we go. I will say that there is one important thing to note is this isn't retroactive. So if you do apply a new rule, it'll only apply to messages that come in after that. So categories, rules, updates, all of that will only apply after messages come in or when messages come in after the rule's been applied. Let's see, you've got your display name, you've got some integrations here. So it can talk to Slack, which is pretty cool. Can talk to HubSpot, and we've got, well, those are both coming soon, but there are others coming in as well. I do know that it works with Gmail right now. I did check, it does not work with Microsoft Suite, but that is pretty universal. I've spoken with very few of these AI tools that actually integrate with Microsoft Suite. So Outlook is kind of out on that and is not able to use a lot of these integrations. You've got your contacts, and here you can kind of choose exactly how how individual contacts are treated. So you can have individual contacts have unique rules. So if you have high priority customers you talk to, if you have, clients who you want handled a specific way, you can make automations and have individual contacts treated uniquely. So the rule doesn't have to apply universally. It could be apply to everyone except this character, or apply this rule only to this person. Um, and let's see, I haven't played with a lot of this, but this is pretty cool. There's the option to sync content from your website. So if you're putting updated newsletters, if you're putting out videos like this one, you could have them feed into your email responses. Um, and you can create snippets for AI context to reference later. So say, for example, you're drafting a stock reply that's going to go out under specific conditions. You could reference a snippet and it could pull in that snippet. So say snippet A, snippet B, snippet C. And then say, for example, there's a contact form or there's like a invoice or something you want automatically sent back, you can upload that here once that feature comes out. And again, this is very new, and one of the cool things about this is getting a chance to get a hands-on trial with it, and then also having the opportunity to talk with the developers as these tools are being built. So that's all very, very cool. Let's see on this one. Yeah, Untitled Custom Answer. Thank you for reaching out for support. Please see the attached resource about this. Add tone, support inquiry. And of course, I make more typos when I'm recording. There we go. So that is just one example of what you can do with a custom answer right there. So now I've got an updated custom answer. I can edit those, I can turn them on or off, and I can choose exactly let's see, who that applies to. Okay, and I can see active answers or inactive answers. There is a filter there to do that. It's pretty cool. And then you've also got folders, and you can create additional folders in addition to the base label ones that's created by default. Let's see, and writing style. This is the point where what it does by default is it copies all of the messages you've sent within the messages that it scans over a set period of time, and it will adapt its tone to match yours. That is assuming you have a consistent writing style across all the messages that this is scanning, which in the case of a workplace, you probably do. But maybe not, because that's going to vary a lot. So you can also choose to change this. And let's see what we got here. Yeah, there we go. Customer experience. Yeah, you're Noah, founder and customer experience consultant living in Lisbon, working globally. Your time is valuable and you respect the time of others. You prioritize clear and concise communication. You aim to be helpful and offer assistance whenever possible, especially to those new to Lisbon or needing customer experience advice. You value efficiency and often take direct providing context afterward. You generally avoid unnecessary formality or small talk, getting straight to the point while maintaining a friendly and approachable tone. And that's the automatic scan, but it is pretty funny where it's flattering enough to me that I wouldn't put, I don't know. Anyway, I like that summary because it does a nice job really hitting my personal priorities. And that is what it did based on the responses that I gave. Like this is the summary that was built automatically by the AI tool. I didn't write any of that. I haven't customized it at all. So that was, yeah, it was a pretty good read on the way that I approach my work and my communications. And then some of the things I really wanted to highlight. This is somewhat new. So looking at rules. So we've got labels. You can create additional labels and you can choose how exactly these are applied and when. And on each of these, you can click on the individual rule type and choose exactly how the label is handled. So like right here, you can say, You can have auto drafts apply or not apply to specific labels, so you can turn that on or off for specific kinds of communication. Uh, One thing I mentioned on that is I personally will draft an email so that I have that in my drafts folder so I know that that's something I have to finish and send later. So I use it as kind of a saved to-do list, which this automatic draft kind of got in the way of. And being able to turn this on or off specifically is actually really, really helpful. So I get the best of both, where I still get like, this is still a to-do list, but it's partially pre-filled for me, especially if I apply additional rules. So say, for example, I get the same question 100 times, or for example, there's a current crisis we have a set reply to, or there's a kind of question that has a specific canned response. Canned is the wrong word, but canned. Then I can have this automatically apply and write those. And I can think of a lot of cases in customer success where that would have saved me a ton of time. I got really excited about that. Then the automatically star. Um, and right here, so this is for awaiting reply, is where I explicitly asked a question or requested information and haven't received a response yet. So this again is that plain text rule where this is exactly when this will be applied. So the AI tool will read the email and judge if this rule applies or not. And it was pretty good at applying these. Initially, when I had these filters in place, they didn't work all that well, but then there have been a couple revisions and updates, and now they've been really, really good. They've been way, way better. Um, yeah. An interesting little tidbit just as we're closing out here. Well, let me see what else we've got here. Settings too. Yeah, okay. And this is created in a very flexible way. So it can be for an individual person. If you are just one person and want to try out the tool, you can. And there's, I believe, an annual subscription for this. And then if you wanted to actually have this set up for a team for any number of members, there's a like you can do a sub license fee where you have a license, an individual license, and then a smaller license fee for individuals beyond that first account. Um, yeah, and it's pretty cool. And if I recall, there is, let me see if I can find that information. We'll get to that. I'll put that note somewhere. But I wanted to make sure to mention the rules piece. We saw this a little bit in the video, in that demo video really quickly, but we'll say add rule. We'll say here I want if the message contains you win, archive it immediately. Which that's a gamble because there are cases where somebody could write back, you win in response to something, but this is the kind of thing you can do. And I can just say this, like right here, subject, all emails with the invoice in the subject or in the body. CC the billing manager for patient issues, draft response. Like this is really cool that you can do this kind of thing. And again, it's one of those things where as you use it more or less, you'll get a sense of what is most effective. And so I would personally start out using this a little bit slowly, see what works really well, and then ramp it up as you get familiar with it and as you think the pieces you already have are working really well. So this, just kind of a super quick recap on this. It's a straightforward basic tool that is really approachable, is really easy to use, is heavily customizable, and leans on one of the areas where AI has the biggest strengths and also has the most potential benefit, where it's not a support inbox, so it's not necessarily real time. It is a place that can get gummed up really easily, and it's a place where your natural voice matters a lot, and responding to different things in a complex way is really important to making it work and making sure that automation is there. That level of customizability, speed, and then giving you direct access to control kind of what is handled how is, I really like this one. This is a great tool. I really appreciate it, and I've really loved getting a chance to tour it. So, Clarity Inbox, there we go. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy to talk about it more and look for some additional information in the description.